Hey there, Doodle lover. Are you ready to finally feel proud of your Doodle's behavior? Not just their adorable face? Then don't miss my free 10-day Doodle Parent Challenge starting September 5th. It's the training reset you've been craving. Live, science-backed, and built just for Doodle parents like you. Head to thedoodlepro.com/parent challenge to save your free spot now. That's thedoodlepro.com/parent challenge. I'll see you inside. Welcome to this bonus episode celebrating Aussiedoodles, also known as Aussiepoos or Aussie Poodles. This episode is all about getting to know what makes Aussiedoodles so special. Whether you're already an Aussiedoodle parent or considering one, I'll answer common questions and share valuable insights to help you choose the perfect puppy or better understand your unique dog. During this episode, you'll learn about the standout qualities Aussiedoodles inherit from both the Australian Shepherd and the Poodle, as well as some of the quirks that come with this energetic and intelligent mix. We'll dive into topics like temperament, health considerations, grooming needs, and even a few surprising facts about mini and standard Aussiedoodles. Some key points that we'll cover include a brief history and purpose of the Australian Shepherd, traits and quirks that come with herding instincts, poodle traits that influence Aussiedoodles, health and grooming considerations, and common behavioral traits and tips for managing them. Aussiedoodle parents and anyone considering this mix will enjoy this episode, but I'm sure there'll be helpful takeaways for any Doodle lover. Doodle breed dogs are easy to love, but can be challenging to parent. I'm Doodle expert Corinne Gearhart, also known as the Doodle Pro, and I'm here to help Doodle parents have a more fulfilling and rewarding experience with their Doodles. No one has professionally worked with as many different Doodle breeds or has more experience with Doodles than I have. And I love to share my expertise in a fun, compassionate, and non-judgmental way. From my years of work and education in the pet care and dog training industry, I have an incredible network of skilled training, grooming, and veterinary professionals to share their knowledge with you and give you the Doodle-specific answers you're looking for. I hope you enjoyed today's episode as I help you parent your Doodle like a pro. First, let's go over the origins and traits of the Australian Shepherd. The Australian Shepherd, despite its name, actually has roots in the U.S. Bred to herd livestock, this highly intelligent and agile dog was designed for ranch life, working long hours to help manage livestock. Aussies are known for their intense focus, loyalty, and impressive herding instincts, often using their eyes to control and direct animals. These traits make them amazing working dogs, but can bring unique behaviors when they're crossed with a poodle. For instance, that herding instinct often leads to chasing, nipping, or directing moving things, whether that's other pets, kids, or even vacuum cleaners. Their natural intelligence and problem-solving skills are both a joy and a challenge, as it means they thrive on mental stimulation. So let's go into the poodle traits that influence Aussiedoodles. The poodle also brings high intelligence and low shedding and some versatility to the Aussiedoodle mix. Poodles were originally bred as water retrievers, making them fast learners and adaptable. This intelligence, combined with the Australian Shepherd's work ethic, means Aussiedoodles are often quick to learn commands, excel in obedience training, and love new challenges. Let's discuss why they're ranked so highly for intelligence. They both express those smarts a bit differently. First, Australian Shepherds are highly intelligent in terms of working and herding excellence. They excel in tasks requiring quick problem solving, spatial awareness and focus, making them excellent at herding and agility tasks. Their intelligence is very task-oriented, particularly when it comes to managing livestock or any activity where they can use their herding instincts. Poodles are also highly intelligent, but are known for their general problem solving and trainability. Poodles rank near the top in obedience intelligence, meaning they're quick to learn commands and can remember and execute complex tasks. They're also adaptable to a variety of tasks, which is part of what makes them so popular in creating doodles. In Aussiedoodles, this blend can create a best of both worlds situation. High adaptability from the poodle side and intense focus from the Australian Shepherd side. However, this mix can also mean they need a lot of engagement and structure, as both breeds are naturally driven and need real outlets for their intelligence. Without it, their brains often find creative and sometimes problematic ways to entertain themselves. Poodles are known for their strong bond with their families, and Aussiedoodles often inherit this sensitivity. This means they can be prone to separation anxiety in general, or may not do well in homes where they're left alone for long periods. Now that we've gone over the two different kinds of breeds mixed in together to make one, let's discuss the actual temperament and behavior of the Aussiedoodle. Aussiedoodles are typically affectionate, loyal, and highly active. They're happiest when they have a real job to do, whether that's agility training, advanced tricks, or being your long jogging buddy. Let's clarify busy versus active and what Aussiedoodles really need. I often meet families with young children to teens who say they want an active dog to keep up with the needs of their family. I would like such families to consider the term active dog. People sometimes think that a busy family automatically translate into an active family, but in my opinion, there's a key difference. A busy family may have a packed schedule with school, work, and activities, but that doesn't necessarily mean they have the time or lifestyle to meet the needs of a high-energy dog. A quote, active family, on the other hand, can dedicate consistent time to physical exercise, intentional mental stimulation, and extensive outdoor activities, all crucial for Aussiedoodles. Active dogs like Aussiedoodles thrive on both physical and mental outlets. Physical exercise could include long walks, hiking, or agility training, usually at least an hour a day. Just letting them out in the backyard or walking around the neighborhood on a leash won't cut it. These dogs need structured activities that engage both body and mind. Without these outlets, bored Aussiedoodles often turn to creative behaviors to release their energy. Some common behaviors that might develop if they aren't adequately stimulated include chewing furniture or shoes. They'll often seek something to occupy their mind if they're not given enough intentional enrichment. Digging in the yard. Aussiedoodles with their herding background may start digging to burn off excess energy. One of my favorite Aussiedoodle clients, I won't embarrass him by naming him, but boy, is he handsome. If he has excess energy, he burns it off by swallowing landscape rocks. His family has had to muzzle train him in order to go into his yard where the landscape rocks are, and he's even had to have surgery to get them out of his stomach. That handsome little stinker. You might also find Aussiedoodles barking. They might bark excessively at people passing by, other dogs, or even just to get your attention. Or pacing or hyperactivity indoors. If they don't get enough exercise, they might seem restless or overly excited indoors. Because they're so social, they tend to bond closely with their families and may even become protective. One of the things my two boys and I love the most about the Aussiedoodles I work with is their incredible variety of colors and markings, especially when it comes to their eyes. Aussiedoodles can have striking blue, amber, or brown eyes, and some even have multicolored eyes, sometimes two different colors in the same eye. My kids are always fascinated by these unique windows to their soul. It's just one of the many things that make Aussiedoodles so eye-catching and special. People are often drawn to an Aussiedoodle because of their remarkable luck. Let's discuss an interesting topic that often catches people's attention with Aussiedoodles, the Merle coat. The term Merle refers to a unique coat pattern that creates a marbled effect, with patches of lighter and darker colors. You'll often see this in shades like blue, red, or chocolate merle, creating a stunning and striking appearance. What makes this look so unusual for Doodles is poodles don't usually carry the Merle gene. It comes exclusively from breeds like the Australian Shepherd. The poodle's coat colors are more uniform, while the Merle pattern in Aussiedoodles adds a splash of unexpected color and design, sometimes even leading to one or both eyes being blue, which is particularly rare and captivating. However, it is important to note that the Merle gene must be carefully managed in breeding, because breeding two Merles together can result in health issues, such as deafness or vision impairments. This is something very important to consider if you're drawn to the look of a Merle Aussiedoodle and are searching for a reputable breeder. Let's talk about the health considerations for Aussiedoodles. Aussiedoodles are generally healthy, but they can inherit health concerns from both parent breeds. Common issues include hip dysplasia, cataracts, and sometimes epilepsy. Poodles and Australian Shepherds are both at risk of hip dysplasia, so you'll want to ask your breeder about health testing of the hips for their parents. Another important consideration is the Aussiedoodle's need for regular grooming. Just like other doodles with their thick, often curly or wavy coats, they require frequent brushing and combing down to the skin to prevent painful matting. Depending on their coat type, they will probably need professional grooming every 4 to 6 weeks. You'll also notice they have high sensitivity and emotional awareness. Aussiedoodles are very attuned to their owner's emotions and household dynamics, which can make them sensitive to stress or change in routine. They often pick up on the slightest changes in tone or mood, which is endearing, but requires a calm and consistent environment. Busy households or ones with a lot of unpredictability can sometimes be overwhelming for such an intelligent and sensitive dog. There are challenges in having a protective breed. One important thing I always like to highlight for potential Aussiedoodle owners is the protective nature they can inherit from the Australian Shepherd side. While it's wonderful to have a dog that's loyal and alert, this protectiveness can be challenging if you live in a busy neighborhood or an apartment building. Aussiedoodles might feel like it's their job to guard their territory and family, which can mean barking at people passing by, getting anxious around strangers, or reacting to sounds outside. This is very different from what you might see if you were living on a remote farm with fewer stimuli or visitors. In a bustling environment, they might feel overstimulated or like they need to be on guard constantly. That's why, if you're in a busy neighborhood or close quarters, it's essential to provide regular, positive socialization and training to help them feel more relaxed and confident around new people and sounds. Remember, an alert, protective dog doesn't only bark at or try to protect you from bad guys. They can see every stranger as a bad guy, even if it's your in-law coming into town for a visit. For families who understand and can manage this, the Aussiedoodle's loyalty and protectiveness are amazing qualities. But for those in urban settings, it's good to keep in mind that this trait can sometimes add an extra layer of work. And it's a great example of why I always say, Doodles are different. Wonderfully so. Now let's discuss, are Aussiedoodles too smart for families? You may have heard people say that Aussiedoodles are too smart for families, and there's a good reason for that perception. As a mix of the two most intelligent breeds, the Poodle and the Australian Shepherd, Aussiedoodles tend to have sharp problem-solving skills and high trainability. While this intelligence is a wonderful trait, it can come with some unique challenges. Here's why some families might find them too smart. First, constant mental stimulation. Aussiedoodles need a lot of mental engagement. A simple walk in the neighborhood or a bit of playtime in the backyard is usually not enough to keep them satisfied. They thrive on challenges like puzzle toys, obedience training, treble, and even agility tasks. If they don't get enough stimulation, they'll often invent their own activities, which can sometimes mean digging, chewing, or getting into other things they shouldn't. Some Aussiedoodle parents describe their beloved doodle as outsmarting them. These dogs can be quick to learn routines and patterns, which is great for training, but can lead to clever mischief. For example, they might figure out how to open cabinets, unlock crates, or even predict your movements around the house. This trait is adorable for some families, but it can be exhausting if you're not prepared to always stay one step ahead. And I can tell you, I have child locks on the cabinets in my house, and I don't have little kids anymore. I am living it. Now let's go over some unique facts about mini Aussiedoodles. Mini Aussiedoodles are typically weighing under 35 pounds, and they're an increasingly popular option for people who want a smaller dog with all those great qualities of an Aussiedoodle. People are drawn to these mini versions because they can be easier to travel with or manage in a smaller living space. However, the energy level of a mini Aussiedoodle can sometimes be higher than standard ones, as smaller poodles, which they're mixed with, to get that mini size, like toys or miniatures, are often more energetic than standard poodles. Be prepared for a lively companion, regardless of their size. If you're in the market to add a doodle to your home, let's talk about what makes Aussiedoodles different or the same from other popular doodles like golden doodles and labradoodles. For those who are more familiar with the popular golden doodles or labradoodles, you might wonder how Aussiedoodles compare. Many people are really drawn to that Merle pattern look. It looks like a marbled coloring, either in beige or reds or black and white. And I already mentioned those really unique eye colors they can have. All three mixes of these doodles are highly intelligent and social dogs, but Aussiedoodles generally have more energy, which is saying a lot for a doodle, and a stronger herding instinct compared to the other two. Golden doodles, a mix of golden retrievers and poodles, are often affectionate and more inclined towards calmer family life, especially as they mature. They're still active, but generally more go with the flow than Aussiedoodles, making them a great match for families with a variety of activity levels. Labradoodles, a Labrador retriever and a poodle mix, tend to be playful, more food-driven, which makes training a bit easier, a love for retrieving games and swimming. While Labradoodles can also have high energy, they're usually more easily contented with moderate exercise compared to Aussiedoodles. Aussiedoodles, by contrast, have inherited the Australian Shepherd's herding instincts and mental sharpness, so they're often more intense in their energy and focus. They require not just physical exercise, but consistent training and challenges to prevent boredom. For instance, agility or herding tasks, even in the forms of games, can help satisfy their natural instincts. If you're considering an Aussiedoodle, you'll want to be prepared to spend daily time on activities that engage both their body and mind. If you're on the hunt for the perfect doodle, let's go over if Aussiedoodles are right for you. Aussiedoodles are wonderful, intelligent, and loving companions that can bring immense joy to the right home. However, their high energy, grooming needs, and strong herding instincts mean they require a lot of commitment and structure. If you're ready to meet those needs, an Aussiedoodle could be a perfect fit. They're loyal, smart, and make amazing family members for active, engaged owners. Thank you for joining in this celebration of Aussiedoodles. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to check out episode 17 for more insights on managing the protective nature of herding dogs like Aussiedoodles and more, and what this instinct can mean for suburban and urban families. I'll include a link in the show notes, and you can listen to episode 17 wherever you enjoy your podcast. Next week's episode will focus on another fascinating doodle mix, so stay tuned. Thanks for listening, and remember, doodles are different, wonderfully so. Thanks for joining me for this episode of the Doodle Pro Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts. And I invite you to follow me on Instagram at The Doodle Pro for behind-the-scenes peeks at all of the adorable doodles I work with daily.